The rain tapped lightly on the window. Arya sat in front of her mirror, eyes dull, hair messy, shoulders slumped. Her phone buzzed. Another message she did not want to read. She stared at her reflection and whispered, "When did I start fading into background?" The world outside felt loud, fast, filled with people chasing something. But she felt still, invisible. Every day looked the same. Wake up, work, scroll, sleep. She remembered when she used to laugh loudly, when her eyes shone with ideas, when she believed she could do something big. Now, even her thoughts felt tired. That morning, as she left for work, the city greeted her with its usual chaos. Horns blared, footsteps rushed past, and the sky looked pale like her mood. Inside the train, she sat quietly, watching others glued to their phones. Everyone looked lost, like characters reading from someone else's script. But then an old man entered, with a smile that felt alive. He greeted the conductor by name, offered his seat to a stranger, and laughed softly at something no one else heard. For a moment, the train felt brighter. Even the air seemed lighter. Arya stared at him, confused. How could someone glow like that in such a dull world? He looked ordinary, gray hair, wrinkled hands, but his energy felt powerful, alive. When he caught her looking, he smiled and said, "Live like the story belongs to you." Then he winked and got off at the next stop. Arya sat frozen. Those words echoed in her head. Live like the story belongs to you. She arrived at work, still thinking about the man. Her office was bright but lifeless. Gray walls, white lights, quiet murmurs. She passed by co-workers who barely noticed her. Her desk looked neat but cold, just like her routine. During a meeting, her boss spoke about new projects, but her mind drifted away. She looked around. Every face looked blank. Every voice sounded scripted. She suddenly thought, what if I stopped acting small? What if I became the main character again? Her heart started to race. Her palms felt warm. Something inside her, that old spark, began to wake up when her boss asked, "Any suggestions?" For the first time in months, she raised her hand. Everyone turned toward her. Her throat tightened, but she spoke. Her voice trembled at first, then grew steady, strong, alive. Her idea was bold, too bold. The room fell silent. She thought she made a mistake. Then the boss nodded slowly. "Interesting," he said. "Let's try it your way." A ripple of surprise moved across the table. Arya's heart thumped hard in her chest. It felt unreal. The silence that once suffocated her was now listening. That evening, she walked home under the orange sky. Each step felt lighter. For the first time in years, she felt like she was walking through a movie, not someone else's. That night, she opened her journal. Instead of writing about her day, she wrote a line she once heard, "Live like the story belongs to you." And beneath it, she added, "Tomorrow I rise with my own energy." The next morning, she woke before the alarm. No scrolling, no rushing. She looked in the mirror again, and this time, her eyes looked alive. As she stepped outside, the city looked the same, but she did not. Her stride had purpose. Her smile was real, and her energy finally matched the main character she had become. The sun hung high above the skyline, painting streaks of gold across the glass towers. Arya's reflection appeared on every window she passed. Confident, alive, unstoppable. She reached the cafe near her office, the same one she used to visit alone, head down, eyes on her phone. But today, everything felt different. When she entered, people turned, not because she was the loudest, not because she looked extraordinary, but because her presence had changed. She smiled at the barista. "Good morning," she said warmly. And the barista smiled back, genuinely. The smallest thing suddenly felt alive. When she took her seat, a group from work waved her over. She joined them, laughing, talking, glowing. No one ignored her anymore. But more importantly, she no longer ignored herself. Every conversation flowed easily because it was not about impressing anyone. It was about connecting. Later, as she walked to the office. Her mind replayed that moment on the train, the old man's voice whispering again, "Live like the story belongs to you." And now she was living it. Her story, her energy, her main character moment. That evening, she stood on her balcony, the city lights flickering like stars below. She whispered softly to herself, "I am no longer waiting for a better scene. I am the scene." A gentle breeze lifted her hair. She closed her eyes and smiled, not because life was perfect, but because she finally was herself. Her reflection in the window smiled back, stronger, braver, alive. And in that quiet moment, Arya understood something she had never realized before. The main character energy was never about power or fame. It was about alignment. It was about walking into a room and letting your peace speak louder than your words. So remember, do not chase attention. Attract it by becoming the person who moves through life with calm confidence and quiet power, because the world always feels the energy of someone who truly lives their own story. The night deepened. The hum of the city softened into a distant murmur. Cars passing, laughter echoing faintly, wind brushing against the balcony rails. Arya leaned forward, resting her hands on the cold metal, her mind still replaying the moments that led her here. She thought of that first day in front of the mirror, the tired eyes, the dull skin, the quiet despair. It felt like another lifetime, a different version of her, one who had forgotten how powerful her energy could be. She smiled faintly. "Maybe we are not waiting for miracles," she whispered. "Maybe we are meant to be them." Her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from her boss. "Great job today. Keep leading with that energy." Arya read it twice, not because she needed validation, but because it reminded her of something deeper. Energy always finds its way back. She put her phone down, took a deep breath, and felt an unfamiliar stillness inside her chest, the kind that comes only when you stop pretending and start being. A soft drizzle began to fall. She stretched out her hand and let the rain touch her palm. Each drop felt alive, cool, fresh, real, for the first time in years. She was not thinking about who was watching or what people thought. She was simply existing in her story, in her moment, in her truth. The city below sparkled under the rain, each light reflecting off the puddles like 1,000 tiny suns. And Arya, she was shining too. Because when you find your main character energy, the world stops being something you fit into. It becomes something that fits around you. She turned to go inside. Her reflection shimmered one last time in the glass door, not the quiet, uncertain girl from before, but a woman who had chosen to rise, to glow, to lead. Inside, she opened her journal again. The same page from before. The same words. "Live like the story belongs to you." She smiled, added one more line beneath it, "and make it unforgettable." She closed the notebook gently, turned off the light, and for the first time in a long time, slept peacefully, because her energy was finally hers. The next morning arrived quietly. No alarms, no rush, no chaos. Just the sound of sunlight breaking through the curtains and the gentle hum of a new day beginning. Arya opened her eyes. The world felt different, not because it had changed overnight, but because she had. She stood in front of the mirror again. This time, the reflection did not look tired or uncertain. Her eyes were clear, her shoulders relaxed, her breath calm and steady. There was no makeup to hide behind, no forced smile to wear, only truth and peace. She brewed her morning coffee, the aroma filling her small apartment. Every movement, simple yet intentional. Every thought, light and focused. Before leaving for work, she whispered quietly to her reflection, "Let the world feel your peace today." Then she stepped outside, and the morning greeted her like an old friend. The sky was painted in soft gold and pink. Birds flew past the rooftops, and the cool breeze brushed her hair gently. Even the noise of traffic felt rhythmic, like the soundtrack of her new story. As she walked toward the train station, she noticed something subtle. People smiled back when she smiled. Strangers made way for her, not out of fear, but out of silent respect. Her energy, invisible but powerful, moved like light through the crowd. At the station, she saw a little girl drop her bag. Without thinking, Arya knelt down, picked it up, and handed it back with a warm smile. The girl grinned shyly and said, "Thank you." Arya's heart filled with quiet joy. It was such a small act, but it carried weight, because now she understood. Main character energy is not loud or dramatic. It is the power to move through the world. With kindness, confidence, and calm, she boarded the train, took her seat by the window, and watched the city glide past. Reflections of sunlight danced on the glass, and for the first time, she felt deeply connected to herself, to the world, to the story she was living. At work, she entered the office with quiet confidence. No nerves, no masks, just presence. Her co-workers greeted her warmly. Noticing something new they could not describe, but could feel, her boss smiled and said, "Morning, Arya. You seem different today." She smiled softly and replied, "I just started living my own story." The day flowed with ease. Every task felt lighter, every word more genuine. Her laughter filled the room again. And for once, she was not surviving the day. She was creating it. As the day ended, Arya packed her things slowly, looked out the window, and whispered to herself, "This is how it feels to have your own energy back." The sun dipped low behind the buildings, painting everything in gold. She felt grateful for the struggle, for the silence, for the moments that had once hurt, because they had shaped her into this. Someone radiant, real, and grounded. Her story was not perfect, but it was hers, and that was enough. So, what does it truly mean to have main character energy? It is not about being perfect. It is not about getting attention or being the loudest person in the room. It is about being aware. It is about walking through life with calm confidence, knowing exactly who you are, even when no one else sees it yet. Main character energy is quiet. It moves differently. It speaks before your words do. It tells the world, "I am not here to prove anything. I am here to live fully." When you stop chasing people, when you stop shrinking yourself to fit, when you stop waiting for permission to shine, that is when your story begins. Because the truth is, you have always been the main character. You just forgot how to play your part. So today, walk a little slower, speak a little softer, smile like you already belong. Because you do. Do not change your energy to match the world. Change your energy and let the world adjust to you. You are not just living a story. You are the story. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to breathe and remind yourself, your energy creates your reality. Stay inspired, stay grounded, and always remember, live like the story belongs to you.